Okay, so let's treat unit 6. Welcome to unit 6. Unit 6, we'll talk about price. Price, okay. Okay, so let's go over the principles for unit 6, which is price. Number 1. So in all, we have 4 principles. Number 1, know the cost of your product or service. 2, reduce costs. 3, increase prices or sales by adding value. 4, have more than one supplier. Let's report on our commitments for unit 5, okay. So we were told to what? For our business plan, we're told to record our sales and expenses at point of purchase or at point of sale, to keep an income and expense log for our business, and to create an income statement for our business, okay, for the last month. Our home quality of life commitment was to choose to improve a specific area of our home plan, or of the 8 important areas that we have. Savings commitment, we're told to save money, even just a coin or 2, okay. So let's report on our commitments. Let's report on our commitments. If you're able to meet your business commitments, your home commitments, and your savings commitments, kindly write yes for each. If not, kindly write no. If you were able to meet some and not all, kindly indicate either is yes or no for each. I'll pause for about 10 seconds for us to report on our commitments so that we begin unit 6. Thank you. Okay, so let's go over. This is a picture, okay. So let's continue. This is a picture of a certain guy called John, okay. So let me read his story so that we continue. John sells fish. He buys raw fish from the coastal, okay, from the coastal for $1 each. He buys it for $1 each. So he buys fish from the coastal so $1 each. He cooks the fish and sells them for the same $1 each. He pays a friend to transport the fish from the coastal to what? To his market store that he rents, okay, in the market. Everyone loves to eat John's fish. He sells all of his fish every day, but John is having a hard time making a living. He doesn't even have enough money to pay for his store rent this month. So John wonders, how can I make more money? He decides to make more trips to the fish market in order to sell more fish each day. Okay, so this is the story of John, okay. And then let's discuss, would more trips. So John buys the fish for $1 and fries it and sells it for $1 without adding any amount on the fish anymore. He sells it just like he bought it. So let's discuss, would more trips to the fish market help John make more money? Would going to the fish market more, or making more trips to the fish market, make John to be able to make more money from his fish business? Would more trips to the fish market help John make more money? I'll pause for about 10 seconds so that you write your answer in a book. Okay, so let's go over the next question. Okay, so the next question, why should we find out what the full cost of our product or service is before we set our price? Why should we find out what the full cost of our product or service is before we set the price? Why should we find out what the full cost of our product or service is before we set our price? I'll pause for about 10 seconds so that you note your answer down. Okay, so let's continue. So let's act. Okay, let's act. So let's go over the 4 principles. Know the cost of your product or service, reduce costs, increase price or sales by adding value, have more than one supplier. Okay, so let's go to principle number 1. Principle number 1. So know the cost of your product or service. So let's go to page 20. Okay, knowing the true cost of production or producing and selling John's product will help him make a profit. Remember, he goes for the fish from the cold store or the duck at $1, and then he sells it after cooking the fish and everything. He sells it at the same $1. So knowing the true cost of what producing and selling the fish, John will be able to make a profit, isn't it? John has other costs besides just the cost of the fish, because he has to buy other stuffs. Okay, so let's turn to page 20 in our participation manual, and let's discuss the following 4 paperwork forms. Okay, so there are 4 paperwork forms that we'll discuss. There are 4. Okay, let's discuss them. The first one is what? So current, reduce cost, increase price, and reduce cost and increase prices. So let's look at the current log and statement and answer some questions. So this is the first paperwork. There are 4 paperworks. So the first one is what? Current. So what is really or actually happening in John's fish business? The current situation. There's an income and expense log for it, and then there's an income statement for it. Okay, so let's discuss how much income. Let's discuss how much income does John earn if he sells 300 cooked fish. Looking at this current situation in his business, how much does John earn if he sells 300 cooked fish? He sells each at $1. So how much does John earn, or how much income does John earn if he sells 300 cooked fish? Kindly note your answer down in a book. Please, this course you need a book and a pen, or something to note your answers on. Okay, I'll pause for about 5 seconds so that you note your answers down. How much income does John earn if he sells 300 cooked fish? Okay, so let's continue. How much do 300 raw fish cost John? How much does 300 raw fish cost John? How much does 300 raw fish cost John? How much does 300 raw fish cost John? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for about 5 seconds. How much does 300 raw fish cost John? Or how much expense does John make when he buys 300 raw fish? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for 5 seconds so that we continue. Okay, so what are John's other costs? Apart from the 300 raw fish, what are John's other costs or expenses? What are John's other expenses apart from the 300 raw fish? What are John's other expenses? What are John's other expenses? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for about 20 seconds. What are John's other expenses? Okay, so is John making a profit or he's losing money? Is John making a profit or he's losing money? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for about 5 seconds. Is John making money in his business, or making a profit, or he's losing money, or he's making a loss? Kindly note your answer down. Pause for about 5 seconds. Okay, so let's act. To be able to make a profit, you need to know all of your costs before you set the price of your product or service. To be able to make a profit, you need to what? Know all the expenses before you set the price for your product or service. Kindly turn to page 20 in your workbook and take about 2 minutes to write down as many of your business expenses or costs that you can think of. So kindly go to page 20. You will see a part below this table, this same the current situation in John's business. You see under it, there's all the business costs you have. That is you. So kindly write down in 2 minutes. I'll pause for about 2 minutes. Kindly write all the business. Okay, for the sake of this video, I'll pause for about 1 minute. Okay, kindly write all the business expenses and costs that you make in your business. Just as he makes expenses, kindly also note down all the expenses that you make in your business. I'll pause for about 1 minute so that we continue. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, so as a group, or now we are as a group, but as you watch this video, I believe you've already listed some costs or expenses that you make. Okay, so we are as a group. If you are joined on the WhatsApp group, okay, you are with a group. So each and every one of us should choose at least 3 of the costs or the expenses that you make in your business. Okay, at least you can choose 3, okay, of the costs, and then we will learn how we can reduce these costs. So we will learn how we can reduce this cost. But there is a warning on page 21 in our workbook, the participation manual, and the warning says, so on page 21, the participation manual, you see a big warning there. It says many people think that to start a business they need a loan, an office, or employees. Expenses like these are called fixed costs. You must pay fixed costs whether you make money in your business or not. Fixed costs are hard to reduce. Successful small businesses have a few fixed costs as possible. So let me go over the warning. Many people think that to start a business they need a loan, an office, or employees. Expenses like these are called fixed costs. You must pay fixed costs whether you make money in your business or not. Fixed costs are hard to reduce. Successful small business have as few fixed costs as possible. Okay, so let's discuss. Okay, what are some fixed costs that business owners can have? What are some fixed costs that business owners can have? So fixed costs example are things that you must pay whether you have money or not. For example, salary of your workers, you have to pay it whether you have money or not. The store that you rent or the shop that you rent, You have to pay if you make money in your business, profit or loss, isn't it? So what are some fixed costs that you can think of that business owners can have? I'll pause for about 10 seconds so that you list some fixed costs down. Okay, what are some fixed costs that business owners can have? I'll pause for about 10 seconds. Thank you. Okay, so let's continue. How can you avoid or reduce these fixed costs? So the fixed costs that you've listed, how can you avoid them or how can you reduce them? I'll pause for another 10 seconds so that we continue later. Okay, so let's see John's fish business when he reduces cost. We looked at the current situation of John's business. So now let's look at how his business would do when he reduces costs. Okay, so we have an income and expense log for John's fish business when he reduces cost, and this is how it looks. And then we have an income statement for John's fish business, then this is how it looks. Okay, okay, so now John decides to reduce his costs. He finds a fisherman who will sell him fish for what? 0.5 or 50 cents. 0.50, so half of $1. He finds a fisherman who will sell him a fish for what? Half a dollar instead of $1. So now he gets a fisherman who will sell him what? The fish for half a dollar. So it is going to be half. At first, one or the 300 fish all cost 300, but now half a dollar, so it is what? Half of 300, which is 150. So that's how he's buying the fish. So he's taking money from his business, 150 out of his business, to buy what? The raw fish from this fisherman. So it means his cost has what? Reduced, isn't it? So let's look at the table. Okay, so you see the table. So through his expenses, you realize that the expenses has reduced. Okay, so looking at this chart, he was able to reduce his costs. Okay, concerning the raw fish to half of the old price. Okay, although these are the same, he didn't reduce. But looking at this, did it affect his profit? Did he make a profit or loss this time? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for about 5 seconds. Did he make profit this time or a loss? Okay, so kindly note down ways that you reduce your business costs. On page 21 in the participation manual, you see it's under this table. It's written under this table. Okay, it says, what are some ways you can reduce your business costs? What are some ways you can reduce your business costs? Okay, so kindly note down. Pause for about 10 seconds so that you note your answer. What are some ways you can reduce your business costs? Okay, so let's move to principle number 3. Okay, increase prices or sales by adding value. Increase prices or sales by adding value. So after 2 months, the fisherman, okay, the fisherman that John was getting his fish from got sick. Okay. The fisherman that John got his fish from got sick and couldn't sell him the fish at what? $0.50 or 50 cents anymore, or 0.50 anymore. So in order to stay in the business, the fish business, John went back to getting his fish from the old dock or the old coastal for $1 again. So to make a profit, John decided to increase the price of his cooked fish to what? $1.50 or $1.50. So he increased the price. So now the fisherman that was giving him the fish for $0.50 was sick and he couldn't get the fish anymore. So he went back to the coastal where he had his fish from in the beginning. So he realized that if he sells the fish at $1, he buys it at $1, he was making a loss. So he decided to what? Increase the price. So this is how his business is looking at now. Looking at his income and expense log and looking at his income statement. This is how his business is looking right now. Okay. So now he doesn't sell the fish after cooking the fish. He doesn't sell it the same price, $1. He sells it at what? $1.50. So this is the income he gets for selling it at $1.50. Okay. So this is what he is having. Okay, so let's discuss. Looking at the increased price form in your participation manual, that is on page 22, the topmost part. There are two tables. The topmost part is increased price. So looking at the increased price form in your participation manual, how much did John increase the price of his cooked fish? How much did John increase the price of his cooked fish? He bought the raw fish and this is the cooked fish. So how much did he increase the price of his cooked fish? Okay. I'll pause for about 5 seconds so that you note your answer down. How much did John increase the price of his cooked fish? How much income does John get when he sells 30 cooked fish? How much income does John get when he sells 300 cooked fish? How much does John get when he sells 300 cooked fish? How much income? So how much money does John get when he sells 300 cooked fish? How much income does he get? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for about 5 seconds. Okay, so looking at the chart, is John making profit or he's losing money? Is John making a profit in his business or he's losing money? I'll pause for about 5 seconds so that you note your answer down. Is John making a profit or he's losing money? Okay. So after a week, the sick fisherman's son, okay, came to John and offered to sell John fish for $0.50, which is 50 cents again. Okay. So the son also promised, the son of the sick fisherman also promised to transport the fish to what? To John's market store at no additional cost. At no additional cost. Okay. So kindly turn to page 22 at the last box. So you see, what is John's cost for 300 raw fish in the reduced cost? Okay. So the table, the last box on page 22, we will see what reduced cost and increased price. So if this is what will happen in John's fish business if he reduces costs and increase price. So let me read it again. Okay, the reason why he increased price and reduced cost, or the cost in his business reduced, the expenses reduced, and he still increased the price. This was the reason. After a week, the sick fisherman's son came to John and offered to sell John fish for half a dollar or 50 cents each again. So each fish you wish to sell it half a dollar. The fisherman's son, the sick fisherman's son, also promised to transport the fish to John's market store at no additional cost. Let's discuss. So looking at the table, this table, reduce cost and increase price. What is John's cost for 300 raw fish? What is John's expense for 300 raw fish? I'll pause for 5 seconds so that you note your answer down. What is John's cost? Okay. What is John's cost for 300 raw fish? Okay. So what is John's cost for transportation? What is John's cost for transportation? I'll pause for 5 seconds so that you note your answer down. What is John's cost for transportation? Okay, so how much do all of John's cost or expenses total now? How much does all of John's expenses, okay, or John's cost, how much does it total now? I'll pause so that you note your answer. How much does John's expenses or cost total now? I'll pause for about 5 seconds so that you note your answer down. Okay, so should John accept the fisherman's son's offer? Should John accept the sick fisherman's son's offer that you transport the fish free, no charge? You charge him for nothing, and you carry the fish that he has reduced the price to the fish store for him. Should he accept the offer or he shouldn't? Why? Why do you think so? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for about 10 seconds so that we continue. Okay, so kindly turn to page 23 in your participation manual. Kindly turn to page 23 in your participation manual. Write or draw different ways you can reduce cost or increase prices for your business. Write or draw different ways you can reduce cost or increase prices for your business. So in your participation manual, you see at increase price or sales by adding value, we have what ways can I increase prices for my business? What ways can I increase prices for my business? Kindly write your answer down. I'll pause for about 10 seconds so that we continue. Okay, so let's see this picture. Increase prices or sales by adding value. Increase prices or sales by adding value. Let me read the story behind this picture. Okay, so this is a picture of how John sells his cooked fish today. So he started his business small, but now this is how he sells his fish, his cooked fish. Okay, he calls it his happy fish platter. What would you guess John's happy fish platter sells for? He calls it his happy fish platter. What would you guess John's happy fish platter sells for? What would you guess John's happy fish platter will sell for? What do you think this fish platter now sells for? What do you think is the price for it? Okay, so let me read the story. John has always kept his store area clean and attractive. He even placed pots of flowers around his stand. That is, he placed pots of flowers around his food stand. He bought a deep dryer and added French fries to his cooked fish. And he raised the price to $3. John always sold all of his fish, but he became so busy that it was hard for him to cook and at the same time wait on the customers himself. So John decided to hire or recruit a helper to wait on the customers whilst they eat and also clean up when they are done. In order to keep making a profit, John had to raise the price of his fish to $6 or 6. Some customers complained that he still sold out all of his fish. John added a table and some chairs so that his customers could sit down. John added a table and some chairs so that his customers could sit down. John's stand was near a historical statue that tourists came to see. Sometimes tourists would want to sit on John's chairs and rest. They often asked John about his fish, but they wanted to pay with a credit card. John's brother-in-law offered to work with John and get more tables and chairs for him. John got an app for his phone that made it possible for tourists to pay with a credit card. He also started using real china plates and introduced a salad and a special sauce that tastes great with the fish. He still sells all his fish every day. He also started using real china plates and introduced a salad and a special sauce that tastes great with the fish. He still sells all his fish every day. At the Happy Fish restaurant, John now, so that's the name of John's restaurant, okay. At the Happy Fish restaurant, John now charges $12 for the Happy Fish platter. John charges $12 for the Happy Fish platter. This is the Happy Fish platter, okay. Because John added value to his product, he was able to raise the price from $1 when he started to what? $12 now. So when he started, he was making a loss. He bought the fish for $1, added what? Value by cooking it, and then sold it at the same $1, and he was making a loss. Now it says what? John charges $12 for the Happy Fish platter because John added value to his product. So he has real china plates, he has a stand, he has chairs, he has somebody to wait on customers, and to what? And they have now nice chairs, a resting place. He has an application where tourists can what? Pay for what? Their fish platter. Okay, so John was able to raise the price from what? $1 from where he started, and now charges what? $12 now. Okay. Okay, so now let's move to principle number 4. Principle number 4. Okay, so let's watch this video. Okay, I'll be right back.
Hey Grace, Ediase, what's the matter? You don't look happy today.
I don't know what I'm going to do. My business started to make some profits and now this happens.
What happened?
The man I buy pure water from just raised his prices, so I have to close my business.
Oh, Grace, I am so sorry. But why?
I usually sell my water for 10. My customers won't pay more. I used to buy it for 7 from him. Now he's raised it to 10. There's no profit. What am I going to do?
Okay, so let's go over the video summary. So Josephine says, "Hey Grace, what's the matter?" So this is Grace, okay. Then Grace responds, "I have to close my business too." Then Priscilla, another person, says, "Oh Grace, I'm so sorry, but why?" Then Grace is telling them, "The man I buy pure water from just raised his prices. I used to buy from him for 7 and sell for 10, but now he raised his price to 10. Priscilla is speaking to Grace. Says, "Grace, have you talked to him?" Then Grace says, "I haven't." Why would I? His prices are his prices. Okay. Now, let's watch the continuation of this video. I'll be right back.
Grace, have you talked to him?
I haven't. Why? His prices are his prices.
No. You got it all wrong. You know, you need to talk to him and let him know that you are one of his most important customers. Always talk to your suppliers and ask for the lowest price you can.
Okay, I'll try.
And you know, you have other options. In fact, I even know somebody that can give it to you for 5.
Hey!
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were buying it for 7 and now even 10. Don't worry, I'll introduce you to him, okay?
Please do.
You will.
I will talk to him. I'll try and get the best prices for my customers.
Yeah, you should.
Thank you, girls. I'll see you later.
Okay.
See you later. Bye-bye.
Okay, so let's go over the video summary. So Priscilla says you need to talk to him and tell him you are one of his most important customers. Always talk to your suppliers and ask for the lowest price. Then Josephine asks, and remember, you have other options. I know somebody that can sell water to you for 5. I will introduce you to them, okay? Then Grace responds, please do. I will talk to my supplier. Thank you, girls. I will see you later. Then Priscilla says, see you later. Bye. Okay, so let's discuss. Okay. So our suppliers, this one, they were talking about suppliers. Principle number 4 is saying have more than one supplier. So our suppliers are the people that provide us with what? The materials for our products. It is important to talk to our suppliers and make sure we get the very best price, okay? So let's discuss the important things to ask suppliers. So some of the important things to ask suppliers is, how much do you charge? Okay. Do you offer any discounts? Do you sell on credit or cash? Okay, so we also need to ask them, who are your competitors? Why are you my best option? Okay, so you ask your supplier, why are you my best option? Then you ask them also, how much can you supply? So you can find all these questions on page 24. You can find these questions on page 24 in your participation manual. Okay, these questions are there so that you can be able to ask those that supply you to be able to make products for your business, okay? Or they supply you with staff for your business. So let's act. So you ask yourself, who are your suppliers? So when you turn to page 24, your participation manual, okay, so you write down your current and potential suppliers, and then you choose some of the questions you ask them. So these questions, you can choose which of them to ask each of your potential suppliers that you are yet to meet, and then those that you have already. So you can choose to ask them any of the questions, okay? Now, so you ask yourself, who are your suppliers, both potential and then what, your current suppliers, okay? So that you'll be able to what, ask those questions about who their competitors are, why they are the best option to supply you with your product, how much can they supply you, how much do they charge, how do they offer any discounts, do you sell on credit? So you ask them whether they sell on credit or cash, so that you know about what, the best supplier for your products. Okay, so let's go over the principles for unit 6. Unit 6, we discussed price, okay? So let's go over the principles for unit 6. Now, number 1, know the cost of your product or service. 2, reduce cost. 3, increase prices or sales by adding value. 4, have more than one supplier. Okay, now let's go over our commitments for unit 6, okay? Our business plan commitment. The first business plan commitment that you should what? Calculate the true cost of your product or your service for this unit, and then find at least 2 ways to add value, what, to be able to what, increase your profit. And then you also find 2 ways to be able to reduce costs, to be able to what, increase your profit. And then your home quality of life commitment is to what, to thoughtfully choose 1 or 2 areas of your quality of life view and write down goals to improve this week. So be specific, okay? So you thoughtfully write 1 or 2 areas of your quality of life view and write down goals to improve this week, okay? Your savings commitments is that you add to what, your savings, even if it's just a coin or 2, you add to your savings, okay? So before the next meeting, kindly calculate the true cost of what, or before the next video, or you watch before unit 7, kindly calculate the true cost of your product or service and think of 2 ways that you can add value or reduce cost to increase your profit, okay? So which of the commitments for unit 6 do you think will be difficult to what, to meet, and which of them do you think will be easier? Kindly note your answer down. I'll pause for about 3 seconds. Okay, so kindly meet with your action partner for unit what? Unit 6, price. Unit 6 is price. And discuss your business ideas and decide how you contact and encourage each other during the week, okay, to be able to keep your commitments. If you do not have an action partner, you can just, if you are in the WhatsApp group, you are joining in the WhatsApp group, kindly talk to a partner, or just message somebody on the group and tell the person that you want to be their action partner. And you can also talk to a friend. If you want a friend to be your action partner, then you have to invite them to do the course. So in the description to this video, I've put in the course link, the registration link, and even Myplatform, a link we called Myplatform, to be able to enter or practice what you learn over there, as well as my email address. Okay, so let's go to Myplatform and then fill in our details for price, okay? So we will go to myplatform.interweave. interweavesolutions.org. Okay, so I'll put this link in the description to this video. So wherever you got this link from to be able to start the course, you see this in the description to this video, even all the videos, okay? So you just copy it and then paste it in your browser, and then when you click on enter, just as I'm doing, it will take you to this page, okay? Okay, so then you type your email address. So kindly click on the registration tab in the description to this video. When you click on it, you'll be able to register. Without registration, you can't have access to my platform, okay? So kindly register and fill out a pre-evaluation form. Then you enter the email address and the password I used to register. The password I used to register is small letter A's, okay? So I check it, then I log in. So you see 8 icons over here, 8 icons. So you see price, and then there's a blue icon over here, so that's price. So you click on it. This is for unit 6, okay? So it will bring you to this place. There will be there are 4 questions that you have to answer for price, okay? So I started recording this video and then some challenges came, okay? So I had to pause and restart. So if you see this, I typed them, okay? So it asks, what is the price for your product? Why do you charge this price? So I'm assuming that I have a pastry business, or a catering business, and I sell pastries and then juices and other snacks. So they're asking, what is the price of your product? So under price. So I answered, I charge 10 for each of my pastries and 5 for my juices. Okay. Then the next question was, why do you charge this price? So my products are quality. And then I also compared my prices to what? About 5 of my other competitors. 5 of my other competitors. And then the second question was, what are the prices of your top 3 competitors? So you see all these questions, immediately you register for the course with the registration link, and then you click on, so you'll be able to have access to my platform. Every time you click on my platform, the link over there, you'll be able to get to this. So all these questions are there for you to answer, so kindly practice with it. Okay, what are the prices of your top 3 competitors? So first competitor charges, so I'm answering, charges 12 for their pastries. Second competitor charges 10 for their juice. Third competitor charges 9 for their pastries. So the third question is, are you taking into account all of the costs that add to the final price of your product or service? Okay, so before I continue, on the participant manual, so with the participant manual, I've sent an email address. So you see an email address in the description to this video. Kindly email address, tell me your location or how you found the course. Okay, so my name is so and so, I joined the WhatsApp group, I have begun the course. Or my name is so and so, I got to start the course from this site and I want to start the course, or I've started the course, whichever. Immediately you say either I've started or I want to start the course, I'll send you the participation manual into your email address, so that what you can download and then watch. So on page 57, you will see a sample plan on price. Somebody has written his own, a sample business plan on price. So the 4 questions here are all there, so you can look at it to be able to answer these questions. Okay, so let's continue. Are you taking into account all of the costs that add to the final price of your product or service? Are you taking into account all of the costs that add to the final price of your product or service? Okay, so you know that there are costs that comes to the final price. Okay, we know that we buy things at an expense. We've learned all these in this unit. Okay, so they are asking if you take into account all of the costs that add to the final price of your product. So yes, I take into account all the costs that add to the final price of my product. Okay, so then it says, name at least 3 additional costs to your original price that influences the final price of your product or service. So what are some additional costs that you have? Okay, so sometimes there are some costs that you see, we have original price. For example, as I'm selling pastries, let's say I also sell juice. So let's say I have juice, I made orange juice, and I have maybe honey. Maybe my orange juice, I add honey or sweetness. Okay, so the orange juice is the original price. So that's the original thing that I buy. But there may be additional costs that I make. Okay, so there are things that I add. So maybe I add sweetness, and then I blend with other stuffs. Okay, so that is not really the main product for the orange juice, but it adds to the cost. And moreover, transport. So transporting maybe the fresh oranges, I spend on transportation. Either I buy them, either my car or my truck goes for them, or either somebody, the supplier, brings it and adds transport to it, the cost, as well as even transportation, cost on transportation, deliver it to customers after I've been able to develop my product, maybe send it to customers. So this is what the question is trying to mean. Okay, so name at least 3 additional costs to your original price that influences the final price of your product. So name at least 3 additional costs to your original price that influences the final price of your product or service. Okay, so name at least 3 additional costs to your original price that influences the final price. For example, transport. Okay, transport. So I'm just naming them. So transportation costs, transportation costs. Then maybe spices. So it could be spices. Spices include maybe anything I add to make the product. It could be even ginger. Sometimes either it's pineapple juice, you know, it's pineapple, you just add ginger, and these are, so all the additional things, I'll make it spices. So any other 3 could also be maybe the rent of a store. So where you rent, so the rent of a store, the rent of, so rent of store or rent of shop. So you pay the rent of your shop. So it could be any other things. Okay, then when you are done typing, you click on save. When it's updated, it will give you a feedback, update successful. Then click on continue. Okay, so we are done with price, unit 6. Okay, so thanks for watching. This is my platform. Don't forget to subscribe. Okay, so taking this course, you are taking it with a business consultancy. Okay, the name of the business consultancy, it is just beside where you click to subscribe. So you see the name over there, that is the business consultancy that you are taking the course with. So just beside the subscription, you notice our name is over there. So kindly subscribe. Okay, and you would be able to have access to every other course that we, every free course, we'll post it to public. Okay, on our channel. So if there's any free course that will make available, you will see a video and then you just click the course in the description. So we'll be making free courses. So we give out free courses and we give out paid courses. So kindly subscribe to this channel to be able to have access immediately we post. If you are subscribed, you click on the notification button, that's the bell button beside the subscribe, and then you'll be notified by this channel, okay, concerning what, a new course that has been updated. Okay, so that's all we do on this channel. So see you in unit 7. Bye.